Remind yourself about relaxing eyes, relaxing area of the mouth that help you to get to knowing awareness that is related to the center in the head. You need to apply these instructions until some point. And usually that some point is when you open 11th bhumi, then you don't need to go after or seek after knowing awareness or the basic state anymore. It's just there, available and felt, experienced, recognized most of the time. But until that point, remind yourself, relaxing eyes, taking a minute or two, just thoroughly feeling how the muscles around the eyes become soft. Same with mouth. As the seeking mode stops, then it is quite easy to understand how there is knowing at the basis of seeing through the eyes, how there is knowing at the basis of hearing through the ears, smelling, tasting, touching, feeling. How there is knowing at the basis of all sensing and sensations. How there is knowing even as the basis of thinking. First characteristic. And then you relax your body into it. You know that the body gradually relaxes. Relaxing in a big way for the sake of all sentient beings. Relaxing like monarchs, queens and kings, not like beggars. Really establish knowing awareness, Rikpa, as it's called in Vajrayana. Really establish it physically. It's like uniting the senses, uniting knowing awareness with the senses and with the whole body. In other words, establishing the basic state and its knowing aspect specifically with the body. If you have difficulty, you're not really, it's not as clear and sober as it has been before. All right, visualize jewels. Just suddenly, pop, body in a jewel, aura in a jewel. I mentioned 20 years ago living in a yoga school and working there. And I used to mop floors there in the mornings and evenings and whenever it was necessary. And they had stone floors. And I remember that the floors really shone after I had mopped them. Just like a polished jewel, polished stone. Just like knowing awareness, or knowing quality of awareness. So just briefly using the jewel to enhance and then the second characteristic, aliveness. The jewel is not only clear, but it is alive, it is bubbling. There is energy running through it. Energy coursing through our bodies and subtle bodies. There are some traditions, methods, religions even, that focus on this aliveness aspect. Blissfulness, it is often called. Bliss, ananda. But without the clarity of the jewel, clarity that comes with knowing aspect, it can be very misleading. Because the dirt in the system triggers dirty bliss, not pure bliss. So just reminding you again to not lose the clarity of the jewel. And then, like I discussed about a whole bunch of different things in my little talk before the sessions, but I was talking about smiling and how it can be approached from two different perspectives. So there is joyfulness. Allow that joyfulness to make you smile gently. I said, allow yourself to smile gently. Allow that aliveness, joyfulness to lift the corners of your mouth. Don't just sit there not doing it, because I can see some of you not doing it. It's a double retreat fee if you don't do what I say. But it does feel very concretic. It becomes physical. It becomes real in that sense, doesn't it? So you're not only feeling the second characteristic, the Sambhoga Kaya, in your subtle body, but also physically. It affects your you're physically smiling, and it feels differently. It feels much more concretic. It's genius. It's genius how we are built. The human body has little flaws. If our body is mainly healthy without not too big problems, sometimes I wonder myself how wonderfully it's built. What happens when the joyfulness of Sambhogakaya is connected with a gentle physical smile? Isn't it that you might notice, maybe you already did, but you notice that also, the smile expands also physically. It starts to feel like you're smiling with your eyes. So the smile is not only here in the corners of the mouth, but you get this joyful expression throughout the body. it's sort of like you start carrying your body in a different way. Soak it to the bone. Soak your bones, soak your marrows, soak your muscles, flesh, blood, organs, your whole being in it. Of course, as meditating yoginis and yogis, we are working with our own body and subtle body. But at the same time, our motivation, I'm just giving you a little reminder that this work that we're doing is for the sake of all beings. We are not working with the subtle bodies or bodies of other beings, but we are working on ourselves for the sake of all beings, for the liberation, freedom, happiness of all beings. Let the smile reach places in your body, in your psyche, where it doesn't yet reach. I can see from many of you that you would not want to stop. Now that you got the smile going, forget the rest of the world, forget your family, forget your work, forget your rent. I just want to smile here for the 1,000 years and not be bothered about anything. You bums. No, I'm just kidding. It's good, I understand. Same happened to me many times. Trauma has always made me very serious. I remember when I was a kid, I was called, like in Bible, doubting Thomas, because I was always so serious, because I was traumatized. So to me personally, it has been a rediscovery, discovering again and again and again the enjoyment body over the years. And I'm still working with it. You work with it until light body pops. So by all means, keep the smile with you. Make yourself strong and beautiful with this genius little tool that is part of the human psyche. Using the principle that is already in our nervous system. Smiling. And then, of course, just briefly mentioning groundedness. It already feels grounded, doesn't it? Settled in the body. Firm. So let's continue with our retreat topic. The other basic characteristics of the natural state, or like I introduced on Friday evening, that has been made the basic principles in Buddhist Dharma, for example, in 6 paramitas, 6 perfections, and Noble Eightfold Path in classical Buddhism. So let's work with ethics first. Let's see if we can find that the basic state, natural state itself, is the foundation or the root of ethics, or if ethics is like a separate element or component separate from the natural state. Because that's how it's kind of taught that you remember to be ethical, you remember to be moral, and just keep that tool with you, like carried it under your arm as you go about meditating and serving others and so on. So keep it as a reminder. But I want to do this workshop with you to point out my understanding of this, that ethical, moral experience and behavior comes from the natural state, Buddha nature itself. That is not something like an element that is external. So let's work with ethics using two different what do you call those, perspectives, functions. The first one being honesty versus dishonesty. So now we have been soaking, recognizing the basic state for 20 minutes or so, something. So remain in this recognition. And imagine that you're sitting with somebody who you like and respect. Imagine that a friend, family member, spouse is sitting in front of you. And then imagine that you're speaking or talking to that person and make up some lie, some outright lie, not a white lie or something harmless, but something that is like a serious lie about something. Be creative. Make up a lie. Ooh, I can just feel the energy changing. So you're saying a lie with some doubtful or even harmful intentions. Don't worry, this is just imaginatory, this is not real, this is only an exercise to make a point. When you come up with a good harmful lie and you say that in your imagination, then feel how it feels afterwards and see how the energy that it generates, the energetic field, sensation, feeling, how it relates to your recognition of the basic state. Compare the two. Selfless, self-based. Feeling the energy of the group, I feel like a pressure on my chest, on my heart, makes me want to gasp air. Just say the lie in a way that you get the energy going. Please don't keep repeating it because it feels like shit. It ruins my retreat day if you do it several times. All right, let's use another example. Something maybe a bit more ordinary. So definitely conscience is part of the natural state. It's because we have conscience is why we can even talk about ethics, right? But let's use like an everyday example. Think of, again, you might think of that person who you were thinking, or you might think of your boss who you're working for, or perhaps if you're unemployed at the moment, you can think of somebody who you used to work for, or perhaps if you're sitting with your parent or spouse or friend, think of some task, some job you promised to do, you said you would do, you were asked to do, and now you're lying about it. That you have taken care of it, done it, although you haven't. Oh, You continue, I'll go have a beer, And then again, compare the energy, feel the energy that it generates. Is there anybody who is not feeling anything? Or, this, if this is tricky, put your hand up. Maybe I can help if there's somebody. Okay. Yeah, thank you. If you're not feeling anything, then do it again. Do it in a way that you really mean it. Put energy into it, intention into it. This is always like, if you're not feeling this exercise, I told you to do it more strongly, with more concentration. Same with Guru Yoga, Deity Yoga. If you're not feeling anything, do it again with more energy, more involvement. So what is the conclusion of all this? Do you feel, is it your conclusion that being dishonest is clearly a different, it's not a matching energy, it's not a matching feel with our basic state? If you agree, put your hand up. Did we actually get 100%? Well, I wasn't expecting anything else. But yeah, it's a completely different. Like, I feel this really, I feel like this really strange sensation in my kidney area. Really, it's not nervous. It's not nervousness like fidgetiness, but it's kind of just very off. I can feel it in my, what are those, like bones in the lower legs, in my thigh bones, in my sacrum area, in my spine. It feels like the spine is not in its natural place. It's sort of like the energy starts to do something strange, not funny, but something strange, something weird with it. I've led the same session before, and I won't take your comments now, but just saying that from the comments I remember from before, people have told me that they feel pressure or heaviness in the chest, They might feel like not being able to breathe properly, that it feels, like I said, really strange, off, awful, might feel nauseous, right? Right? Should we take a third example, now in the context of Dharma and Tantra? Let's. So, yesterday we did Guru Yoga and we visualized Guru Rinpoche and then Yeshe Tsogyal in front of us. Visualize Guru Rinpoche in front of you. This is only an experiment, a little game to prove a point. Guru Rinpoche also knows this. Don't worry. You're not fucking up your dharmic relationship with Guru Rinpoche. And hopefully won't fuck it up later either because of this little experiment that we do. So feel his energy for a moment. Maybe if you feel like a bit shaking off the energy of the two examples that we did, you can slap your body, shake your body to reset, for it to be properly ruined again with Guru Rinpoche. Alright, and then come back to seeing, visualizing, feeling Master in front of you. Just feel his presence, soak his blessings. You can even say his name with love, devotion, 1 or 2 minutes. Alright, so you're feeling Guru Rinpoche's presence and blessings enough. So now we are workshopping on ethics, or the lack of it. We are workshopping on honesty or dishonesty. Imagine that you bow down in front of Guru Rinpoche and stay bowed, not physically. In your visualization you bow down. Just turning the body from the waist or head all the way down on the floor. And now, come up with some words of contempt towards him. Some dark, something poisonous. The opposite of appreciation, the opposite of gratitude. The opposite of respect. Just enough to feel the energy from it. And then again, see how it feels in your system. Feel the energy fully. Don't shy away from it. Don't evade it. Experience it fully. Do you notice that, here the context is your relationship towards a Mahasiddha Guru, who is the founder of this lineage. So your relationship with Guru Rinpoche is dharmic. It is because of him why I've been able to pass the teachings that I have to you, that has been the cause for your advancement. And even though this is just a mental experiment that has no real resulting karma, isn't it that the energy of this it's much more serious than with the two previous examples, although the two previous examples were also very off. How what I feel in my body is exactly the same that I described a few minutes ago, but there is much more energetic pressure to it. So it screws up my system exponentially more than the energy or the karma coming from dishonesty with people around me. Do you notice the same? Put your hand up if you notice the same. Did some of you miss what I was just saying? What I was asking? Did you all understand what I was asking? Yeah, okay, I'll explain it. So what I was saying, what I was asking you, that the energy coming from this third experiment with Guru Rinpoche, is it much more intense than the two previous examples? Put your hand up if you... Okay, there's somebody who's saying no. Okay, good. All right. Maybe it's good to shake off again. Swipe it off from your energy body, comb it off, tap it off, slap it off, shake it off. It feels like my solar plexus it's like a squeezed like this, like a kitchen rag. All right, good. So let's now, we did 3 little experiments with dishonesty or poisonous expression. Let's now do the opposite, honest expression. Expressing something that is pure, there is no poison in it, but is pure. Say in your mind, I am honest. I make a resolve not to lie. I won't mislead myself or others. I won't lie about anything. To myself, to other people, or to my master. If due to my old habits, I slip a lie, I want to become aware of it and correct that dishonesty. Feel the energy of now. Is the energy now in alignment with the basic state? Is the energy same as the energy of basic state? Does it make you ill, sick, or does it make you feel healthy? It kind of makes you feel strong, doesn't it? Gives you energy, gives you power. Maybe it's something useful to mention also that there is a fool's understanding of Dharma, which means that it's kind of like wearing pink glasses, that you only see good things and you don't want to pay attention to problems in one's life, problems in one's relationships, or problems in the world. So this is like a fool's understanding of Dharma, that you only focus on things that make you feel good and happy, right? But maybe it's useful to point out that in the natural state, you simply remain in the state of sobriety and openness and having positive energy. From this state, you can still express critical views, opinions. That's a big one, opinions. You can still express, talk about difficult things that are difficult to yourself or to others. It's still possible. You don't become dumb or fool just because you recognize the basic state. The Buddha within is not dumb or one-dimensional. So the Buddha within that we recognize, our true self, our true being, has discernment and has the ability to better things, to think about things, be constructive, better things, invent things. If we didn't have those things, the world would look very different. It's really nice, really strong energy. It doesn't make my guts twisted anymore. Let's continue a little bit more, a little bit further. Now that we have done this experiment with the 3 examples, we have already covered some necessary needed parts about action on the level of thought, action on the level of speech. And this is quite easy to tie up with action in the physical world, in our lives. So I'll just point out that, as you know, we already noticed through those examples that, when we speak from our self-centered, self-based mind and poisons negativity, self-centeredness that it's about, it makes us feel a certain way. If we keep doing that, we are letting the poisons, letting samsara germinate, grow. And this has karmic results, karmic consequences. Cause and effect. You do one way and you grow it. In this case, you let poison grow. On the level of thought, and then you would express it on the level of speech. And then the same, we observed that it is unnatural, it is samsaric, it is deluded, based on self-delusion. But then, if you're aligned, if you recognize the basic state, you see things differently. You think about things differently. When you see, when you look with the eyes that are not deluded, the demons, the poisons of your mind do not obstruct what you're looking at. I have a hilarious story about that from my first or second Zen retreat 20 years ago, but maybe some other time. But your own demons are not obstructing what you're seeing and experiencing. And this makes you think about things in a different way. You're not so stuck with your ego and your egoistic, self-centered views and opinions, opinionatedness, that you simply think about things differently. More space, more space for expression, more possibility to be discriminative or have discernment. There is a bodhisattva for discernment, and that's Manjushri. There's one bodhisattva for that purpose in the Buddhist pantheon. So this is something that we can use in our daily lives. We can take what we can work with, because we are constantly, or hopefully at least, we are constantly in exchange with the external world. We meet people, we talk with them, short encounters, longer discussions, exchange, ping pong with the world. And this is something we can use. I was talking about for us to be mindful about what we think, what we say, what we do, So hopefully this little experiment is something that you can use in your daily life. To help working with the two modes. And also physically, thought, speech, physical action. And this is interesting. Well, I've been kind of talking about this the past year in the context of live retreats and asking our Sangha members to, in the context of Dharma, asking our Sangha members to organize live retreats and help our mission's Dharma to get out there. So, acting for Dharma in the world is very important because it's the medicine for existential crisis and confusion. That's definitely, like you felt the energy with Guru Rinpoche when you bowed your head down and then expressed really bad, really weird things. You felt that, it kind of, it's like a screws up your system. It's the same way opposite. When you help the Dharma in the world, you get many times blessings. It is said that you get merit. Well, is it energy of merit? Well, it's the energy of basic state. It's the energy of realization. But also in secular relationships, work, actions, activities, meet them with a mind that is honest and sincere. Play that ping pong with the world with that kind of mind. It all starts with the mind. And there are only two modes, only two options. The basic state, natural state, or the unnatural state. There are no actually other options. Let's sit for 1 or 2 minutes more before taking a break. Let's chant, may all beings be free, 3 times. Inhale. May all beings be free. May all beings be free. May all beings be free. Join hands. Okay, let's take a short break, 20 minutes. Continuing 10 past. Okay, thank you.